wicked. Shamanism. Welcome to With Insights Radio. I'm your host, Iggy Garcia. I will take you on a journey across the universe through shamanism, metaphysical, and holistic. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Okie dokie. How's it going, everybody? This is Ignacio Garcia, also known as Iggy Garcia. Hi, Adriana. How are you? Good to see you. Hi, Tricia. How are you? Good to see you. People popping in as we talk. Today, we're going to be exploring the world of shamanism today. But this candle that I'm going to light first is, we light a candle now on the shows. This is about peace, purity, healing, innocence, exorcism, and divination. I can never say that word. That's the I don't know, the Latino in me that can't say that. The divine. Okay, so let's light this candle and give thanks to all the ancestors and everybody who's in our families, in our lives. There they find peace and purity and healing and innocence. So we hold this candle. Give thanks to them. And yes, this is candle. A white candle is used for exercising things that you don't want in your body or around you or people. And then we're also going to light our little sage here, like we do in all the shows. So we can move all... Jayla, how are you? Good to see you. We're going to move all that negative energy out, move it around on me, wherever it's coming from, because it's been kind of a weird day, personally. And then we're going to use the wormwood for those of you who were on the show the other night on Monday. The wormwood is for just to help with calming energies, to help you just calm down and help you just relax a little bit. I need this a little bit today. Just now, wormwood is a good grounding smudge. It's a good sage. You're not going to really find it in a lot of places. So for those of you who would like to get some, I have it. I grow it. And this wormwood is very relaxing, very nurturing type of sage to help you just relax. And it burns really slow. It doesn't burn fast, and it's it's just really gentle, a gentle piece. So we're gonna let that burn over there while we're doing the show. Whoa, got a little bit in my throat there. So I want to welcome everybody to the show. I'm excited that you're excited to be here because it's an exciting time. Like I was saying earlier on the beginning of the show, it's been a little bit crazy. It's been a lot of things have been going on. A lot of energies have been spiraling and moving, and the energies have actually brought a little calmness to the weather, which is good because we need it. It's not extremely hot, so people aren't as extremely irritable as they might be. So I decided that I was going to fix one of my drums. Okay, this is my Dumbeck. It has a new head on it. I put it on just about an hour ago, and able to play it here. I'm going to play a little bit for you. And this is the one, Adriana, this is the one that was broken at that one event we were at. Okay. Hi, Kendra. How are you? Good to see you. Peace. In purity. In healing. In innocence. Yeah, drumming came natural to me too. I mean, I did practice a little bit. Some people taught me some things here and there. It's pretty fun, and you know, I enjoy it. Hi, Mark. How are you? So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Just drumming. Lesson my new drum, the new drum head. So I'd like to welcome everybody to the show, and hopefully you can stick around a little bit. Hey, what's up? And hopefully you can hang out with me for a little bit. And if you go, that's fine. If you stay, that's fine. You're all welcome to do what you have to do. I know everybody has a lot of different things that they do in this time. 8 o'clock's a prime time, and I get that. And I'm waving to everybody. As if I missed you, I'm sorry. I apologize. Margot, how you doing? Good to see you. But talk to me on this live feed here. For those of you who are there, if you have questions or whatever, I can help you move through this process. Hi, Nora. How are you? And you know, it's an exciting time, even though it's could be a frustrating time for people. It's an exciting time to embrace new energies and to embrace new love and new ideas and new hope. And that's what I hope to share with you, some of my insights today, because that's what this show is about, with insights. And primetime Iggy there. I like that. That's funny. I needed that. I needed a little laugh. I thought that was kind of cute. It was kind of funny. It's kind of spontaneous. I never looked at it that way. But hey, it is what it is. So we're gonna go into a little meditation real quick. We're gonna just do a little relaxation, so you can kind of clear your mind and kind of just let go of whatever you need to let go of. Because I know it's been probably one of those weeks. We're almost done with this week. You know, the work week. Let's put it that way. Some of you work on the weekends. I get that. But for some of those of you who are the Mondays through Friday, 9 to 5 or 7 to 5, whatever you work, this is a time for you just to relax and just kick off the shoes and, you know, run around your PJs or be nude if you want. I don't care. It's up to you. And just feel the energy. So I'm going to bring in a little bit of music. A little zenful, peaceful. I just want everybody to take a moment just to kind of focus a little bit where you're at in this present moment, where you're actually sitting, and just feel, you know, just kind of feel the chair or the bed or wherever you're at, wherever you're sitting. Just want you to feel the present moment. I want you to listen to the sounds that are around you. If you can hear the music in the background, focus on the music. Focus on the water trickling a little bit. And just let it ride a little bit. Let it feel. Let your body feel. Just feel the energy. Just take your hands, open them up, put them on your lap, palms open, so you can let the energy flow in. Energy flows in, energy flows out. Things that we need to bring in. Feet flat if you can. If you can't, no problem. Just keep yourself a hollow bone, so energy flows through you in and out. Take a deep breath. And release. Take another deep breath in. Release it. Take a deep breath in again. Release. And if you want to close your eyes, you can. And I just want you to sway a little bit. Just a little bit like I'm doing right now. Just feel the energy. Create a little spiral in your body. We want to create the spiral energy that flows through us, in us, with us. You can feel that energy flowing. I want you to picture yourself standing at a doorway. And this doorway that you're going to be crossing through, this transit door, this door will be the door for you to ask of something that you've been wanting for a while, something that you've been wanting to communicate to yourself personally. This transit door will open up at some point here. And I want you to visualize in your mind's eye, what is that you most seek? The thing that you most want in this present moment. I know we want a lot of different things, and I know we have achieved some things and not achieved others. But at this moment, we're going to travel through this transit door, this magical door. Okay, and this door will take us to a magical space and time, where we can actually visit with ourselves, a version of ourselves who's already doing what we hope to do, where we hope to be. As you look at this door, and as you sway back and forth, rocking around like a little spiral, bringing in the love energy. And for those of you who are wondering which direction I'm spiraling, I'm actually going counterclockwise, bringing in feminine energy, bringing in the kind energy, the peace, the purity, the healing, the innocence. And I'm here to gonna exercise a little bit of that, what's in me that needs to be heard. So I want you to think in your mind's eye, and I want you to look, and I want you to picture that which you would like to obtain, something that you would like to learn. It could be painting, it could be singing, it could be learning to be more connected with self, higher self, how to do the work that you're seeking to do. I want you to picture that in your mind, what that would mean. Now, as you look at this transit door that's in front of you, this transit door begins to get brighter and brighter, and it starts to glow as you're looking at this door. Pretty amazing. It starts to change different colors. It starts to change like the rainbow, and then slight variations of shades of colors that you can see. The reds, the pinks, the yellows, the orange. And then in your mind, you see the color that resonates with you. And that's when you know that you've unlocked this transit door, where this door has become unlocked for you. As you look at this door, it begins to get bigger. As it grows larger, you grow larger too with the door. And as you move towards the door, you knock on the door 3 times. And then the door begins to open slowly. It begins to open slowly. And with your eyes still closed, as this door opens, you open your eyes with a slight little gauging. And then you look. You step to the door, and there's nobody there. You step to the door. As you walk through the door, you feel the pulsating energy that runs through your body. And you see a set of stairway. There's steps that go all the way up to the top of this little mountain. You begin to take your journey on these golden steps. You walk up these steps, one step at a time. And each step that you walk, you say, I love you. 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 And you've said 350 I love yous as you get to the top of the hill, top of this mountain. And you look around and you see the whole world in front of you. And at this time, you sit down at the top of this mountain. You cross your legs. You fold your hands. And you look down towards the steps where you came from. You look at the door where you come from. And you move your hands. You put them up to the sky. And you ask the universe, Dear universe, hear my call. I would like to learn whatever it is that I need to learn. You fill in the blank. You ask the universe, Dear universe, as I walk through this transit door, I seek whatever it is that I need to fulfill the destiny that is before me, the destiny that I must fulfill. Dear universe, I would like to fill in the blank. I would like to be able to do this and do that, or learn this or learn that. Ask the universe. At this time, you will ask the universe to connect you with the higher version of yourself, a version of yourself that's already there, a version of yourself that has already completed that task, a parallel version of you, another version of you in a different parallel universe. Now open up your hands and receive the gifts that you wish to obtain from the other version of you that is already doing what you would like to do. Now, you slowly get up and you begin to walk back down the steps. You take one step, two step, three step. After every 3 steps, you say thank you. 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, thank you. 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, thank you. You've taken 13 steps. Yes, it took longer to get up the hill, but it takes half the time to get down the hill. And 13 is that magic number that we resonate with at this moment. For some reason that popped into my head, and I wanted to share that with you guys. And you come to the transit door that you entered through, and you're at the door, and you look at the door and you see yourself, another version of you, waiting for the transit door to open. And as you prepare to come to the door, you whisper to the version of yourself on the other side of the door, and you give the message to the person who's on the other side of the door, which is you, another version of yourself. You walk through the door, and the two of you merge. You become one. The transit door shuts. You begin to turn towards the door, and the door vanishes and disappears. You start to hear the sounds around you, the water, the harp. You start to feel the chair beneath you. You feel it. You start to feel the room that is around you. And you have returned back to the place that you began. You have returned, you're back. And here we are. Back to the space that you began this journey. And you return to this space, you're back in wherever you're at. Your bed, it could be your chair, it doesn't matter. So we traveled through the transit door, okay? And this is how we receive pieces and messages in shamanic journey. Okay, this is one version. There's many versions. And some of them are very inspirational too, so they actually are created as you're journeying. The path begins to unfold itself. Hopefully you got a message, and if you didn't, that's okay. If you did, perfect. If there's something that you wanted to, get, there's something that you wanted to share with yourself, you got to get that message. That message, you should have your message, either immediately or in a few days. Now, I'm going to tell you, some people get messages immediately, quick, fast, and it's there, okay? And then some people, it's over time, and for some people, it comes in like a puzzle pieces. It shows up like pieces and parts, and then you put the pieces and parts together, and you create. For example, if you wanted to learn how to play the piano, maybe some of you will go upstairs or downstairs where you're at, and you're going to start playing some tunes. But maybe some of you will get the connection to learn how to play through the assistance of somebody else. And it's amazing work, the things you can do when you connect with your higher self and versions of yourself. If you notice in this journey, when you came back down the stairs, you saw yourself again, another version of yourself. Because remember, we ask multiple questions. We are not limited to just one question as we're moving through this incarnation here on this planet that we call Earth, this big blue marble. We're moving and constantly communicating with ourselves. Now, the cool thing is that when we learn how to communicate and move through this transit door, okay, this door is a gateway between you and yourself at different levels and different places of who you believe you are. Now, the shaman way is, and I'm going to use that word shaman because I have no problem with using the word. It doesn't bother me, and I'm not into semantics and everybody going, oh, look, true shamans don't call themselves shaman. I call myself human. I call myself Iggy. It doesn't matter. It's really up to you. I'm proud to be called a shaman. I'm proud of what I do. So for me, it's not embarrassing. And you know what? I don't get caught in labels. I can care freaking less. Okay? But that's up to you. But for this purpose of this show, we're going to call the word shamanism and shaman because it's just easier to relate to. I'm not calling myself anything else except for the work I'm doing, because the work I'm doing for me is very powerful and very sacred, and I really, really love it. So the shaman way is very simple. It's really geared up to the individual. Okay, for those of you who have been in my classes where I've taught about shamanism, shamanism is really a tailored metaphor about yourself and about your life experiences and how you share that with the world. Hi, Blue Hawk, are you? It's a metaphor. It's your story. You're telling your story to the world about what you do and how you travel, how you work. When we start to travel and, up the tree, middle of the tree and down into the roots of the tree, we're working and burying and going through there. Those are different versions of where we're at. Some of us are frozen in time. Some of our little kids are frozen in time and they're working through the process. And sometimes we have to go back and retrieve those pieces and parts that are frozen. So what we did in the transit door was retrieving the pieces and parts of ourselves that are frozen in time. Okay. Plus, we're also able to, move into the spaces that we need to. For those of you who were on my last show, we were talking about time travel, where we're actually working and meeting and being in the present moment. The biggest thing about doing the work that we do is understanding where you're at in that moment, where you're at right now. Where we are presently, how we're presenting ourselves to us and to the world and to the people around us. Because there are so many different types of medicine work, so many different types of shamanic practice that I can't count on your hand. Because number one, everybody's medicine is their own medicine. Okay, everybody, shares spirit's medicine in their own unique way. I'm not here to dictate yours. I can't dictate yours. That would be totally offbeat for me to do that. Your medicine is unique to yourself. You'll always be who you are. You'll always be able to do what you are. Now, in the shamanic practices, especially for where I come from in Peru, we have certain things that we do. Yes, we have certain patterns and certain rituals that we do that, help the process, that helps bring, energies into the room. Fire is very sacred to us. The water, sacred to us. The land, sacred to us. The medicine wheel and South American medicine wheel is very sacred to us, and the different points that are on there. For those of you who have been in some of my classes or all my classes, there's classes coming up here pretty soon, so I'm going to post those too. So those of you who are really interested to continue on and learn some more about the shamanic ways, because I find it that when you become your personal shaman, when you are your personal, medicine person, okay, you bring to the world the gifts that the world needs in that moment in time. And, and it's always evolving, it's always changing, and it's always important, and I always stress this, that we should always learn from as many people as we can, as many teachers as we can. Don't get landlocked in yourself, in your mind, that you have to be one way and learn one way. There are many ways to get to where you need to be. For those of you who have ever heard me say that, there are friends here online who are right now on the show who actually do medicine work, and they have their medicine men, medicine women. And you know what? Their journey is to teach you about their journey, and through their journey, they help you unfold your journey. And together, you're unfolding these beautiful journeys and working together. And you're making these amazing trips together. Okay, because basically, when we start to do this work, the shamanic work in the shamanic way, we are creating our own personal, story to the world, how we're going to be able to communicate to the world, how we can connect to the world. Some of you on this are already shamanic practitioners, metaphysicians, and you do the work, and you find your ways to connect. It's always good to add tools to your toolbox or remove things from your toolbox as well. There are things that will serve us and things that don't serve us. The biggest thing that we learn very quickly in the metaphysical community and the holistic community is we don't try to be one size shoe fits all, okay? Because we're not that. That's not what we are. We are there when we're called upon. When the smoke is burning and they see us, that's when we're called upon. That's where we go. That's how shamans work. When there's smoke in the air, that's where we travel. That's where we go. And then when we're burning the smoke, people come to us and they learn from us. And that's how the medicine works. There's friends like my friend Joanne, who's here online. She has her own calling. She has her own way of communicating to people that maybe I can't reach and maybe I can't communicate to somebody. But that's the beauty about being in the work that we do. Now, shamanism is something that's a little bit more intrinsic. We're a little bit more ritual. There's more rituals to it. There's more ways to connect with the ego and relax the ego. And, to be able to do that is because in shamanism, we're traveling together. We're traveling deep together. And when you travel deep with somebody, you create this personal relationship with them. And this personal relationship is to have empathy for them and to be empathetic versus being, feeling sorry for them. I don't want anybody feeling sorry for me. Maybe for a second. But, we want to be able to be present for someone when we do the work. The biggest lesson that I learned in the work that I do and that I was taught is the ceremony of listening. For those of you who've been in classes with me, that is probably the most crucial lesson you will ever learn about working with another human being, is actually listening to the story that they're telling you, the story that they want to share with you, the story that nobody listens to because they're too busy and they're being in their own mind. They're too busy being, comparing their problem with your problem. Okay, so remember, when the first medicines is to listen. First medicines is your heart. Okay, open your heart to the process and to be, able to, echo back to somebody what you've heard. Okay, these sound very simple. They sound very, something that you can do, but it's super important because so many of us are so in our body and then sometimes we're so out of our body that we can't connect with another human being because there's things that trigger us. There's things that, that mirror us. There's things that, we just don't quite understand. And so that's the biggest thing I wanted to share with you about that, because we're easily distracted. I get distracted. We all get distracted. But the cool thing about it is when you're sharing your medicine, and listening to another human being, you're honoring them. You're respecting them. You're giving them, you're raising them. You're raising them up by, listening to what they have to say. And then when the time comes, as energy channels through you, as energy flows right through you and down through you into you, okay, Spirit will send you exactly what you need to say, speak, or not say at all. Okay, the look, the feeling, whatever. Spirit will bring that on and share that with you. I don't know how many times I've worked with clients and I've worked with people, and you're going, wow, what do I say to this person? But the point is that I listened and I shared, their story, processes through my mind, up the channel, down the channel, and back, and then I'm able to bring back what needs to be heard, and maybe I don't understand what that message is and what that happens to be, but I'm able to connect with spirit at that point, and everybody does this every day. Sometimes we just don't know that. Okay, so when we move up the energy, and the energy moves down through us, okay, we get the sense of this sense of euphoric feeling. You have this euphoria, and you feel really energized. That's how you know when you're in connection with spirit. Spirit's always connected to us, but when you're really in communion with spirit, like when you're really, really, nothing else can really bother you or distract you, that energy flows right through you and into you. And you know what? It's not always easy, but when we do, we're able to share with that person what we're feeling. And you know what? And it may not always be beautiful. It may not always be what you think it's going to be. That's the thing about this medicine when you're doing this work. Okay, so when we're doing shamanic practices and shamanic work is being connected with source, being connected with self, being connected with the person in front of you or the persons around you. Okay? As you progress in the work that you're doing, you're going to start to be able to connect to multiple people at the same time. You'll be able to read their energies, not intrusively, because we never want to intrude in somebody else's sphere or energy. We always want to be there by invitation. And usually when you do a ceremony like that, you've already been invited to at least tap into some part of them. And, and spirit knows how to protect that person as well. The person's protected. Like when you don't want to share something, you don't share. Anytime you create a circle and you want everybody, the participants to share, always put into the invite that you don't have to share. At a higher level, we understand that, well, something has already happened, something has already occurred. Maybe we don't know all of it, but that's okay. It's not about whose story's better, and my story's cooler or whatever. What it is when we share, okay, when we're in circle and sharing, okay, it's a very primal, very energetic, and very it's a moment to share the stories that we may have brought back thinking they were for us, but they were actually for the person next to you, or a piece and part of that was for that person. And that's why I like when people share, because I hear something that maybe I needed a little clarification from. And that happens a lot. That happens a lot to people. They're in these magical circles and they don't say anything. And then they come up to me after and goes, Iggy, I saw this and I felt this. And I said, wow, that's pretty powerful. You know what? I needed to hear that. I really needed to hear that, because if I hadn't heard that, I may have missed something. And, that's why when we do our drummings or we do our, our fire ceremonies or whatever, our sweat lodge ceremonies, we feel that, we invite that. So the shamanic practices come in many shapes and sizes, okay? But, the thing is being connected to Mother Earth. That's probably the biggest thing about being in the shaman realms, be a shamanic practitioner, is to be able to connect to Mother Earth, all the time. And, sometimes being in that connection, we have to learn how to be reconnected with humans as well, because they're another version and aspect of ourselves. And sometimes it's easier to get sucked into the earth and feel the grounding energies of her and feel the tree and hug the tree, embrace the tree and all that stuff. But then we don't embrace people that are around us. We don't embrace those human beings that need us, or who need to feel. But the people that are around us are probably our biggest triggers. They're probably the biggest people who, move our energy, and I'm not excluded from that at all. Because my human temple, which is an amusement park at times, okay, it gets triggered, because my ego hears something and it's trying to protect me and defend me, and going, hey, you know what? I don't like what they're saying. Ooh, wait, hold on. That happens to all of us. So in shamanic practice, how do we relax? How do we relax our ego? We give ego task. We have to give ego a journey, something to do. Okay? As we work through the shamanic practices, this is something that I will teach people and show people how to put ego in a safe place, communicating with parts that need to be communicated with, and allowing you to go into your journeys. Okay? So for example, when you were going through the transit door, the first thing ego's doing is thinking about, okay, this is a door and the door's glowing. Okay, so what's that mean? Part of you is questioning pieces and parts. And then there's another part of you trying to say, just relax, just breathe, Iggy. Just let it go. It's just a door and it's glowing and it's like rainbow colors now. But then as you work through, you move through the energy of the steps. For example, the stairwell. The stairwell, as we're moving up the stairwell, we gave ego another task. We gave ego the project to count how many steps we were taking as you were traveling. Your ego was counting one step. I love you. But you're saying I love you. Ego's going 1, 2. I don't want to miss a step. 3. So it has its own place. Now, Kendra, you're asking about the hedgehog. It's funny that you're going to be asking about the animal totems, because Monday is a whole show on spirit animals and totem animals. Okay, and if you know anything about hedgehogs, they're not really big, they're not really quick, but they are very protective. They have a way to share message with you about what they do as animals. The representation of that, you can look online and you can find things. But what I find is this: when you do, and I don't want to get too far into this, but when you are working with animal totems, here's the first thing you should always do before you consult with a person like myself or Google it, okay, is ask yourself, okay, what does it mean to me? What just happened? Why am I being presented the hedgehog? Okay, it's hedge and hog. Okay, the breakdown of the words too, you have to look at that as well. But what does it mean to me? Okay. Now, for example, you have in your mind already what that would mean. Intuitively, you already know and already feel. Okay, and the message is very clear for some of us, and for some of us, it's not. But always ask yourself, okay, why am I presented this particular animal totem? Why is it here? Why is it communicating with me? What does it want? What does it want to share with me? Remember, depending if you saw it or you are just curious about what it is, always remember that the same way we live on this planet, animals live on this planet too. Okay, so if a hawk was to fly across my windshield and it went to the right, it was just the hawk flying across my windshield. Okay, technically. I mean, that's basically what just happened. Good thing I didn't hit it. But here's the next part. The next part is there a message in the story? What is the message? Okay, so this hawk flies across my windshield. Is it telling me to slow down? Is it telling me to look to the right and be able to, see that the impending danger on the right? Animals give us messages. Yes, they are spirit guides. They are also able to communicate with us things that we need to hear about ourselves. So the hedgehog for me, for example, when I think of hedgehog, I think of something that burrows, something that's small, something that, gets deep down into the core about things, okay? And it's very protective, and it rolls up in a ball, and it becomes very protective of itself. Okay, so there's a message there for me personally. I'm just going to use myself as an example, so I can't really talk to you or I guess I could bring you on, but the point is this. When I think of hedgehog, I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's aspects of inside of me that I need to work on. There's something about the hedgehog that is small, that's big, and I have to go inside. The first thing that comes to my mind about the hedgehog when I'm thinking about and processing is something about my left side of my body. Okay, like there's like this joint pressure. Like I can feel this energetic, like stuck energy, and the hedgehog is telling me that I need to look into that, and then I need to release something there, and I need to move it up. Okay, so when I think about it, another image that pops into my mind about hedgehog is about slowing down. Okay, because it also conjures up the image of the video game Sonic the Hedgehog. Believe it or not, this is my processing, okay, about your question, okay, how you would look at it. Now, what it's telling me is that I have to be gentle, I have to be kinder, and I have to take care of my body, okay? And when I need to protect my body and when I need to be in the space of letting go, to let go, because I'm not letting go of things that I need to let go. Now, I don't know if this anything resonates with you, but the thing is, I'm feeling stuck. There's energy that's stuck for me in my shoulder, and I have to let it go. I'm going to have to figure out the techniques, the things that I need to do to let it go, okay? So you can actually do your own intuitive work by asking yourself personal questions. You'd be surprised when you ask yourself questions versus just asking anybody or just Googling it. You'll be surprised how close you are and how, you're kind of not too far off the hedge. Off the hedge, get it? Hedgehog. Okay. Now, it also has a play on words. You think of the hedge and you think of hog. First images that pop in your head. Well, I think of a hedge and I think of a hog. Okay. For a lot of people, the word hog represents a pig. Okay. Who's walking on the hedges of life. Okay. So as we move, are we walking the line in a way of respecting yourself? Are we walking on a way of, are we respecting the energies around us? Are we hogging it up? Two different animals, okay? But there is a story there. And then Monday when we do our show, we'll get more in depth about it, about what we're going to see and how why animals mean a certain thing. And then you also have to be able to picture the image of yourself being the hedgehog. That way you can also, channel the energy of that spirit animal. You'd be surprised what you'll see and how you feel that. Hopefully, I'll give you a little bit of insight on that, and that helps you a little bit. But animals are amazing creatures, and they do amazing things for us. And I'm always grateful for the things that they bring into our world, because they're part of our world as much as we are. Now, get back on our topics a little bit. I'm going to burn a little more sage here. I like burning sage. Here we go. Yeah. Woo-hoo. So when we're working in shamanism, when we're being our own shaman, we're working to find the aspects of ourselves. As we've already addressed that, and how we're going to find the hidden parts that we have given up, that have been taken from us, that we've lost, and how we're going to reclaim them, how we're going to bring them back, how are we going to integrate them into our being. Will we ever integrate them back? Will we actually invite something else back into our being? Because it's so easy to give ourselves away. Oh, it's so freaking easy. I mean, someone could just say something to us, and the next thing you know, boom, we're out. Our mind goes, zzz, we're done, we're out of here. I do that. It's easy to do. Now, being a shaman is also finding what you connect with. Some of us connect through drumming. Not all shamans drum. Not all shamans do ayahuasca. Some shamans just run energy. But they're running energy in a way that helps, that person helps them, and you travel with these people. In a lot of energetic work, you're really not traveling. You're helping people find the pieces and parts of themselves through their own healing. But in shamanism, you're actually traveling with them. You're actually moving with them into the core, deep crevices of their emotions. Okay? So you have to be able to ground. You have to be able to pull yourself out of those energies very fast and very quickly. Because if you don't, then you find yourself stuck there very fast. Okay? So for those of you who were in my class, some of you who are on here were in the introduction class, I talked about connecting with Mother Earth. And one of the fastest ways to connect to Mother Earth is connecting through the tree, through the standing people, which are the trees. The standing people is the most, and the quickest, and the fastest way to connect to the heartbeat of the earth. Boom, boom. Anytime you're ever feeling disconnected, anytime you're feeling ungrounded, you need to go to the nearest tree. I don't care how big, how twisted, how bent, the trees will call you, so you know which one to go to. And, either hug it, put your hands up on it, or sit right underneath it, something. But get connected with that energy, that vibrational energy, because the tree will actually feel you. Because remember, it's a symbiotic relationship between you and the tree. The tree needs your CO2 and it gives you the oxygen. So there's an exchange there. Our trees are so valuable. Without our trees, man, I don't know what would. It would be really difficult to live on this planet, if at all. And hopefully man and woman someday will realize that we cannot destroy and destruct and just rape and pillage, the Mother Earth, how we have been doing for a millennia. Forever we've been doing it. Man and women overpopulate areas and they take over the things, and then, they destroyed. That's what happened when people came to the New World. They cut down all the forests. Then they suffered. Then they had to go through a whole bunch of crap. And we're kind of doing that now as a human species, as a race. We're destroying the fabrics of the things that keep us alive. But here's the thing. The story is, if we destroy that fabric, then we cease to exist. It's our existence that no longer is relevant. We're not here. There's nothing. We're done. Okay? And then something else takes our place. Another thing comes in, it takes our place, and next thing you know, we're moved out. Just like the dinosaurs. If you don't think that Mother Earth summons that asteroid to come and hit the Earth, think about it. She's a living, sentient being. We don't know, okay? And I don't care who you are, and you can agree or disagree with me. You don't know that she's able to call upon spirits like we call upon spirits. We call spirits, right? We call upon help. We call upon, spirit to help us. Who's to say that she didn't call upon spirit to, eradicate things that don't serve her? I don't know what the dinosaur would have done. I don't know if they're, I'm sure they weren't pumping oil, but there was a purpose for the evolution of that. There was a purpose for that to happen. That wasn't an accident. That wasn't a by chance. That wasn't something that, it was just a random thing, and this huge asteroid just collided into Earth and destroyed all the dinosaurs. There's nothing random about it. There's a cosmic spin to everything that happens on our planet. There's things we just cannot connect with because we just don't have the capacity mentally to attain that in. But when we go outside of our body and go into our higher self and higher version, there's a place where you can go up there and understand what's going on, what's happening. Okay, but when we come back into this vessel, we come back into with all the stuff that we carry with us. We come back in here with all the things that all the garbage we go in there. And then we're having these conflicted stories about who we are, how we think. But when we go outside of ourselves into higher self, and when we ask those deep questions, okay, those deep questions, that's how we get answers. That's how we're able to listen, okay? Like I was teaching some folks earlier today about trancing and then meditation. They're two different styles, okay? The meditation, when we focus and when we're into the place we need to be, is because we're listening. Meditation is about listening and being able to, harness that universal energy to come to us and give us the messages that we need for that. Now, in trancing, when you're trance dancing or whatever, or you're trance drumming or whatever, what we're trying to do in those process when we're trancing is that we're trying to communicate with aspects of ourselves through spirit. Much different because we're actually working through us versus the messages coming to us. We're working through and the trancing and moving and collecting and reading and feeling and bringing into our spirit and bringing into our soul the things that we're looking for. Okay? Because when we're dancing, we're moving energy. We're moving those things that we knew. So if you've ever danced, you're moving energy constantly when you're moving. In meditation, you're sitting still and you're listening and you're waiting. And sometimes you don't get anything, but you do get something. You just think you didn't get anything. For those of you who says, I can't meditate. Well, you did meditate. As soon as you close your eyes, you're in meditation, period, even if it lasts for 1 second. Okay, some of the great meditators of our time have only been in meditation for a blink of an eye and have seen amazing things. Okay? I've been in meditation where I've seen the light that opens up in your third eye, and your crown chakra opens up. I've seen that light and gotten so excited. Okay, I don't know if you've ever done that, but I've seen that light just appear and just like, and you're going, oh my God, look at that light. And your ego's like, gets excited. And you're like trying to relax your ego. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, be careful. It's like, and then someone interrupts you. And then all of a sudden it's like, damn, it's gone. No. But, there are people who meditate all their lives wanting to see that light. And you know what? I can't really say that I have actually been able to go back to that space and time where I saw that light open up. But I tell you, it's probably one of the most beautiful, most amazing things that I have ever experienced in my life, because it was like nothing I had ever seen or experienced. It was pretty magical. Now, when I go into trances and I do trance dancing and I'm trying to find and pull back, pieces and parts, that's a whole different ballgame. There's lights, there's energy, there's darkness, there's everything. Everything's encompassed in that. So for those of you who would like to do trance dancing, okay, we'll do that. We'll be able to do that here in a little bit. We'll actually be traveling the medicine wheel. There's a lot of cool classes coming up. So I'm just putting it all together. They're already just reformatting a few little things. But imagine yourself being in a state of trancing, where you hear the music and the drums, and you just feel that beat and that rhythm, unlocking pieces and parts that you need to unlock. It's an amazing journey. Totally. It's pretty wicked. It's pretty awesome. I love it. So, the biggest thing is when your shamanic process is to be able to share your stories too with people. Okay, so none of us are short of stories. And that's important because storytelling is one of the biggest parts of shamanic practice, is being able to tell the story. Share your story. Share stories about things that have happened to you, things that have occurred, things that have come into your being, come into your spirit, into your soul, because that's how we learn. That's how we used to be. We used to sit around the fire, and at the end of the day, we'd light the fire, and we'd sit there and we'd tell our stories. We'd share our stories about what we felt, how we felt, what our day was about, what it was like. We don't do that too much. The only time we ever do that, it's either when we go camping, or if we're in the Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, we light a big campfire, or if we go camping from school. We've gotten away from that. We've gotten away from community. We've gotten away from working and doing those things together. And I hope that we're able to bring back some of those old traditions where we're in the fire, because there's so many things that you can learn from just looking at a fire and just receiving messages from the fire. It's pretty freaking amazing. So, and it's also time for us to build community. So when we're building community, that's what we do when we're in those sacred moments, sitting there around the fire, talking, sharing, building, creating, working, all these things. And then we've kind of lost that in our culture a little bit, where we actually do that. We've been taught to be so independent and to be able to be us. Well, we've got to take care of number one. If we don't take care of number one, then, then we can't do anything. But the part of being number one is being able to connect with all the other number ones, right? Because everybody's number one. So how do we connect all the number ones together without being really, truly a number? Is by community. Community in shamanism, community is super important. Okay? Being able to be part of that community, part of that system. Because within the village of that, there's a community. There's when shamans are called to be shamans in the old days, okay, long time ago, you were either born or chosen to be that, and that was your calling in life. That was it. There was no I don't want to be's or none of that. We're in a time where people are willing to do something completely different. There are people who want to become shamans, but there are so many people who put stipulations on what that means. There are people who go, you can't be a shaman. How can you be a shaman? You're not indigenous enough. You're not this. You're too white. Blah, blah, blah. You're not from Peru. You're not from Siberia. You're not this. You're not that. You're not Native American. Number one, shamanism doesn't even exist in Native American culture. Actually, it is you're a medicine man or woman. And most tribes don't even have medicine men and women because they've lost the traditions because nobody wanted to learn them because it became so secret that it totally was obliterated and it was lost. And, and it's a beautiful thing now that people from different tribes, traditions, want to learn, because it's important that we learn. These rainbow tribes, these people who are of all multiple nationalities and races, are to be the ones that carry some of these messages on, because some people in some traditions don't want to share. And I understand that you want to share, and you want to be able to, tell the world that this belongs to this belongs to that. But you know what? It all belongs to Creator. It all belongs to the universe. It all belongs to Spirit. And Spirit shares with us. Spirit says, share it. I don't know how many indigenous groups, especially in my country, where Spirit, said, you have to share this story, because if you don't share this story, who's going to share it? You need to teach to people to heal themselves and be able to heal themselves, be able to work the medicine, be able to work their own medicine. Because if you don't, that's like anything. If you don't work the muscle, you're going to lose the definition in the muscle. You're going to lose the ability to do this or do that. And shamanism is no different. Curandero, brujo, whatever you want to call it. Okay? You have to share the message. You have to share. And you know what? Every teacher is different. Every teacher would teach you things that they were taught. Now, in my culture, it's really open to share as much as possible to as many people as possible. That's why you see us on TV. That's why you see us on YouTube. And we don't care who's there. As long as you respect and you honor, then we'll teach. The Peruvian shamans are very, very friendly. They're really open to the process. They want to share everything with you. They share their music, their food, the way they live. We don't just wear the robes and the gowns and that's it and we're done. No, we actually get into the culture. When you do the culture, it's about who we are and what we do, and we share our culture alongside the work that we do. And that's what I would hope the people who are learning to do shamanic work here in the United States or wherever is to be able to introduce your culture along with the practice that you're developing. It's your practice. It's your way of life. It's your religious way of walking on this planet, if you want to call it that. Walking in a spiritual path is your journey. It's your red road. It's where you want to be. We walk the black road and we walk the red road together. Okay? But our souls are in the red road. Those of you who are majority who are called to this walk. Now, is this walk for everybody? I can't say yes or no. I'm just going to say it may not be for everybody, but some people will be a piece and parts of that story. What is a true blown shaman? What is it? What is a shaman? I don't know. I've been doing this work for a long time, and I think people get hung up that shamans have to be a certain way or do things a certain way and present themselves in a certain fashion. Most shamans don't even look like shamans. They just you could be on the bus with somebody and not know they were a shaman unless you had a conversation with them and you talked to them. But the thing is just to be connected to Spirit, be engulfed with Spirit, to be in there with Spirit and sharing with Spirit what it means to be in Spirit. Because when we connect to Source, then the windows and the doors open up. Okay? Now, there are many different types of rituals. There's many types of ways to do things. And, for example, like this white candle that we did earlier, that we lit earlier today, peace, purity, exorcism. And this is something that, it's very, very powerful. For the person who believes and the person who's connected to that, if you're not connected to this, you'll never be connected to it. If you're not open to the possibilities that that this has a purpose and a connection. This, for example, this particular candle, I would take this candle, okay, if I wanted to commune with spirits and wanted to open up the doorways, I would take that candle outside by a tree, okay. I would make a little medicine wheel with little stones or sticks, whatever I would have there, place the candle there under the tree, and open up this portal of energy to help bring whatever I need, the message from the tree. And to be a shaman is to be connected with everything around you, okay? And that could be very difficult for somebody who's very empathic, okay? Somebody who's very connected to emotional feelings of other people, emotional feelings of the earth, okay? The thing is to learn how to control how you give empathy to something and not feel sorry for something. Yes, those of you who are very empathic and you feel everybody's energy, there's a way to control that. There is. You just have to be able to tell yourself and work with yourself and communicate to yourself through Source and ask Spirit to help guide you to that place. You're going to be connected with some people, and they're just going to trigger you. Their energy just does. That's just normal. And there are other people who not so much. But how do you keep somebody from throwing their garbage on you? Well, you create healthy limits and boundaries. And so, how do you create healthy limits and boundaries when you're an empathic? Okay. Well, first of all, you have to set the rules. What's good for you. If you're not a hugger, okay, if you're not a hugger, then you don't embrace the hug. There is a word called no, okay, and you should use that word. No, I'm not. I don't want to. I don't want to hug. And if you want to hug, you say yes. But as soon as you touch another human, as soon as you embrace, especially when you physically touch another human, you become connected. You feel something. You feel their energy. And then all of a sudden you're going, sometimes you'll feel that, whoa, what was that? But you brush it off because you don't think about it. But we send messages at a higher level, okay, and an unconscious spoken word, without words, to the other person about how we feel. You could tell somebody how upset you are without even speaking a word. You can tell somebody how in love you are with them without, even even opening up your mouth. We have non-communication in shamanism is huge, 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 huge. You can go to a shaman practitioner in my country, and they can almost read you before you were even started. They can kind of gauge already how you, just because of the way your demeanor, the way you present yourself. It's amazing. You know, this is something we were teaching in the class. You know how we were able to just look at somebody and know what they were feeling. We did exercises, and these exercises were really simple exercises. But you know what? These exercises moved energy and shared energy. And so, that's the cool thing about shamanism is how to connect with another human being. What it means to connect. What is it? How are you able to take that person, connect them with nature, take nature and connect them with that person, so they can connect with the parts of themselves that are shut off, okay? And as they both are working together, there's a communication. In shamanism, everything has purpose. Everything has validity. Everything has something to share and something to give. And, for a lot of us, we don't look at things like that. We don't look at a desk. We don't look at a rock and think that it has anything to share with us. But there are some rocks that you can turn into, heating. There are some rocks you can crush and make cement roads off. All kinds of stuff. So think about this. Everything that you see in the world outside today, in your 3D world that you've helped create by keeping empowering it, that is a reconstitution of what's in nature. Okay? So there was a time when we lived in trees, we lived in caves, we built huts, whatever. But then now there's a time where we build houses and shelters, we build buildings. Now, if you go downtown Columbus where I live, you can look all around you and you can see all these amazing structures, okay? And you have to think about where all that came from. All that stuff came from Mother Earth. Every single granite, every single rock, every single concrete piece, every rod that constructs and puts this building together came from the ground, came from this planet. Everything. The paint, the tar, the doors, the windows, everything, even us. So now you see the concrete roads. This is the new road. This is Mother Earth. And she's prepared herself, and we've helped prepare her and, to guide us and let us guide and walk upon her in a different way. And then you see the buildings, and you look at the buildings, they're like the new mountains, the new skyscrapers. We go to the top and we look over. It's no different than if you were to climb a mountain, you get to the top, except we use an elevator or steps. But when we get up there, we look over, and we see the same views. We see the panoramic view, of what it means to be up there, up in the skies. And you're looking down, and you're appreciating her for what she's given. Every day, we're trying to, understand. And, to be a shaman is just to know. And you don't have to tell everybody, hey, that's a tree, that tree. There's an understanding. When it's time to teach, that you teach. There's a time to share, you share. The thing is that when you walk in peace, you have to walk in your path knowing that you will not, desecrate the earth, that you won't do the things that maybe others would probably do, and you honor her. And yeah, some of us are very sensitive, and we're really big advocates to Mother Earth. But I'm going to tell you, Mother Earth will always calibrate herself. She's calibrating herself now. You know, there was a big volcano in Guatemala that just, you know, erupted on Monday, and some people lost their lives. Some things were destroyed, and some things will never be regained. But that's Mother Earth. That's her doing what she does. And then in Hawaii, we have the volcano that's erupting there, that's spewing the lava. Nothing new. It's done before. It's a little more intense now than it has been. But it's Mother Earth. Mother Earth she knows how to calibrate herself. She knows how to warm up the waters. She knows how to do. We accelerate certain processes as human beings. We accelerate things through, you know, pollution and, you know, and doing things that don't benefit us and don't benefit the Earth. So we totally are out of balance, you know, with Mother Earth. We're totally disconnected from her. Now, and I'm not talking about you and me, the people who are on the show, because we understand that, and we understand what it means to be in rhythm with her. But the majority of everyday go to work human being is out of touch with Mother Earth. They see a volcano and it's like, oh, it's terrible. No, you know, a shaman practitioner was going, no, it's a beautiful thing. It's a cleansing thing. It's something that needs to be done. It's going to happen. Unfortunately, some people will lose their life in the process, but that's part of being on this planet. One day this planet will not exist. One day this planet will totally finish and she'll be done. And she will split and become the particles and the atoms again where she came from. Okay? That's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's a cool thing because when that happens, think about this. When that does happen, that day when that does occur, that means our journey that we've been on will continue someplace else. Our journey kind of stays in this biosphere that has been created for us. Our energy cycles in and out around it, constantly moves around like this, and moves and flows and gets trapped in crevices. And we're in the water, we're in the air, we're in everything. But one day when the Earth perishes and it's no longer here, that energy will be casted throughout the universe. And will be like, you know, landing in different places. You know, your genetic code will be passed along all throughout the universe if it hasn't already been passed along. You know, in the thinking of time, you know, if you counted every grain of sand that's on a beach, you know, we're just a handful of sand, if that. So it's an amazing process to be on this planet and to be in this special time. That, you know, we are just but a speck, but a powerful speck we are, as we are here in this present moment, living on this planet. And all the things that we get to see and get to share. You know, if you live to be 80, 70 years old, that's really not a long time in the sphere of thinking that the planet's like some billion years old, and it's seen a lot of stuff. So, do you return? It depends. It depends where your energy resides. I believe energetically when you put your energies into the place where if you would like to return, you do return. And I believe if you don't return, you get recycled back into the Mother Earth some way. You're reconstituted and reused. Nothing is ever lost. You know, the universe does not like a void. Okay, so you're going to be used regardless. Okay, if your body's going to fertilize a tree, blah, blah, blah. You know, the waters we drink. Everything has been here, shall be here, and will be here until this thing cracks into 4 pieces and moves on. That'll be the first time for a lot of us to actually be outside of these parameters. But that'll happen in a time where we won't even know. We won't even have a clue. So, which brings me to shamanic practices of importance, okay? And the third part of what I was sharing is being in the moment. To understand where you're at in the present time, where you are as you're floating on this big blue ball at 30,000 miles per hour spinning around. And again, gravity's keeping you down so you don't fly off of it. Okay? Is to understand the present moment that you are on this planet right now, where you are, what it means to be here. Okay? Because for a lot of us, it's difficult to be present in our own life and to be able to see, you know, and just move through life alone. Moving through life is hard for some. And for some others, it's very simple and very easy. But to be in the present moment is to understand the gift that you've been given. This gift of being present now. To be able to be in this space in time with all other human beings, with animals, with trees, with the life around you, the sky, the ground, the rain. The other day I danced in the rain because I wanted to be connected. I wanted to be purified and cleansed by the waters, the tears of Mother Earth. She's not crying. She's happy. She's looking at little chubby Iggy going, oh, yeah, Panda Band. There he is, jumping around. So she wanted to dance with me. So I got out there and I danced a little bit with her. That was fun. That was cleansing. That was purification. That was fun. I was excited. I loved it, And plus my friends got to watch me dance a little bit. So it's pretty amazing. And so I love that when I'm able to connect and commune with her. Communing with Mother Earth is probably the biggest message of being a shaman, to be connect with her, to be able to be one with her, and to share with her all the beautiful gifts that she presents to us. She presents to us water, air, vegetation, food. For those of us who are on this planet, we could eat without eating another sentient being. We could just eat the plant life alone, and we could survive. But we're so accustomed to eating different things, okay? We're so accustomed to eating meat, for example. And I don't really have a problem with that, eating meat, because I believe that we have sacred contract with the animals that we're presented, and we pray. If we do the proper ceremonies and honor their giving, then, I'm good with that. And the same thing with plant medicine. When you eat the plants, we also have to give, thanks to them as well. We give sacredness back. We have to give thanks to the things that are around us, because those things sustain us as much as we sustain it. And that's the cool thing. And when you're doing the shamanic work, is to understand that, that we are one with everything around us. So it's probably one of those things you've heard, all my relations. All my relations is a term meaning that we're connected to everything, to everyone. And sometimes that can be really hard and difficult for some of us to, take in, because it means that I'm also all the things that I don't like about me. I'm also all the things that I love about me. Okay? So when I'm all the things good and bad, it just means that it gives me another perspective on how to see the world. When we're able to see the world in a different way, then it just opens up this whole panoramic and this whole view of what the world could be. Okay, so all my relations means I'm you, you're me. No matter what happens, in the end, we return back to the earth. Our ticket is to return back. Our journey is to experience all we can. How you experience all we can in the process is really up to you. I can't tell you what that looks like, feels like, or tastes like, but I can tell you that you will find a way, you will find the answers to navigate through that, to feel that, to be part of that. The cool thing is that everybody in the shamanic practice understands that everybody's on loan to us. You're on loan to me. I'm on loan to you. I don't belong to you. You don't belong to me. We're all in this together. And you know what? And that's okay. When we're all in this together, it doesn't make it so hard. You don't feel such alone. That we feel alone is because we're disconnected from aspects of ourselves. We're disconnected from aspects of the things around us. And you know what? Being human is difficult sometimes. To be a human being, to be a being on this planet, and to be open to the processes can be hard for some people. I know I have moments where I'm frustrated, and I have moments where I don't feel like I belong. And sometimes some of you probably feel that way, like you don't belong on this planet. You feel like you belong you belong someplace else. Like you belong from the stars. Well, I'm here to tell you, you probably are from the stars. You probably are from somewhere else. Your ancestry probably does come from that. Can we prove it? Do we need to prove it? If it's in your heart, it doesn't matter. Okay? Because when this planet explodes, you're going to go to the stars. And when you die, you're going to go to the stars. We're part of the stars. We're already in the stars. We're already in the big soup, floating around. We're already connected to all the things that are out there. and all the things that will be. The universe is still expanding, and that baffles science. Science can't understand how the universe is still expanding after there was a big bang. Because we're creating. We're creatures of creation. We create. As we're moving in through time and space, we're creating constantly creating ideas, dreams, fascinations, sowing seeds, all kinds of stuff. That's what we do as human beings. We're always constantly creating. And that's the magic, and that's the beautiful thing about it. So never give up, never stop dreaming, never stop creating, because we're creatures of creation. We're creatures of co-creation. We're creatures that just love to create things. And we will always be creatures of creation. We create stories. We create metaphors. We create everything in order to explain who we are on this time and space, on this big blue ball. Because that's how we get through life. That's how we move through life. That's how we navigate through life, is answering questions that we can't answer and creating questions that need to be answered. That's how we move. That's how we try to figure out what that shining star. Could you imagine one day somebody woke up and said, wow, what is that big yellow thing in the sky? It's warm, it's hot, and it's giving and it's loving. Ooh, where'd it go? Oh, wait, there's a big white ball in the sky, but it doesn't give me the same feeling like if I was feeling from the sun. So in the beginning, wherever the beginning was, which is kind of trippy, there was the first human beings that went, where are we? Where are we at? How did we get here? That's a good question. How did we get here? There's many, many, many stories to that. But we do know where we're at now. We do understand where we are presently. And that's the cool thing, is knowing that we're here now. Those answers have already been kind of solved for us. The sun, we understand what it does. The moon, we understand what it does. So we honor and respect, and we share. And, in shamanic traditions and South American traditions, we honor the sun and the moon. We give thanks to the sun because the sun gives life to things. Without the sun, we can't grow up crops. We can't stay warm. This planet would be frozen. We'd be a different existence. We'd be a different type of creature, a different type of existence. And then the moon also balances out, keeps balance within the tides of our oceans and controls things. The moon cycles, for those of you who are really big into the moon. We have the dancers up in the sky, and we have to remember that they have their purpose. As they have their purpose, we have our purpose too. And our purpose is to do what we need to do in order to keep us moving forward into the present moments. Okay? So daytime comes and then nighttime comes. So there's the metaphor of the shadow aspects of ourselves. That during the day certain things happen, and at night certain things happen. And things present themselves completely different than as if they would in the daytime. It's rare to see and to hear certain sounds and to be connected with them. So Spirit is here to remind us to be playful, to have fun, to just do the things that, align us, the things that we need to do. Because our time here is very limited. So as a shaman, when we're working on our client, when we're working on somebody who wants to find the pieces and parts, understand that they want to reclaim, they want to recapture, and they want to understand something that's been, stifled, something that's been blocked, something that they can't quite get through the barrier. Now, like I told you earlier, that story will either be rewritten, that story will be remanifested. So your job is not just to bring back the pieces. So you bring back the piece, you bring back that part, and then what happens when you bring back that part is this. When you bring back that part, you have to know if you're able to integrate that part or not. Is there going to be a purpose to integrate it or not? Can we integrate that part? Or shall we just do a ceremony and let that piece go, create a new energy and a new love vibration to put into the hole that we have, that it's been stifled? So we rewrite the story to that piece and part of ourselves that is hurt. How do we do that? That's something that you will learn as you progress in the work you do. Shamanism is very, very powerful medicine, very, very beautiful. It's very taxing at times for the person doing the work, but it's very rewarding when you see someone heal themselves, when you help them guide back and help them walk to their path to get into and let go and release whatever they need to release. I have never really seen it in any other type of practice, and I've studied in other practices where, they do that. But to honor and embrace the parts that are hurt, and to share those pieces with another human being, to be able to embrace those pieces, it's amazing work. Okay. I hope that you guys were able to get something out of the sharing that I shared with you today. I hope you were able to feel what you needed to feel, take what you needed to take, embrace what you needed to embrace, but understand that we're on loan to one another, that we're here to share our stories with one another. And our stories are powerful stories. And our stories are what help us move through life. Without these stories, we're not able to, express ourselves at times. We need that expression as human beings. We need to be able to express who we are, and what we're doing. So, thank you for being on the journey with me. And hopefully I was able to share with you a little tidbit about the work that I do, to understand and to share what it means to be a shaman. Because for me, to be a shaman is an always evolving story. It's always an evolving affair. There are techniques and things that you do in order to share those stories and move those energies. Yeah, and that stuff will come. That stuff will come as you progress in the work that we do. As it progresses, you progress. The funny thing about it is, as you're moving through the energies of helping other people, you're going to watch the growth that happens in yourself. And that's the coolest thing and the biggest thing. Okay? The cool thing about being a shaman in the modern time is I don't have to be dressed up in all kinds of crazy stuff unless I want to. I can wear the headgear, I can wear the ponchos, whatever. And that all serves its purpose. But you can do the work in blue jeans, okay, and a t-shirt. And that's what we want. We want to be able to be gentle, okay, and very open, okay, very humble to the process, and just be able to say, hey, you know what? How you doing? I hear you. You know how you say, I see you? You know that old saying, I see you. But I also hear you. I feel you. I know you. All my relations. That's the powerful medicine. That is when we're connecting to another human being. And, sometimes we don't connect, but you open the door for connection for someone else. That's the biggest thing when you're doing this shamanic work. Sometimes we're the ones that help prepare the road for that person to move into the next healing process of their life. Not everybody is willing to heal the parts that are wounded, because a lot of people don't believe they're wounded. You know what? We're all wounded, but wounding doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. Someone could have said something bad to us, and that will wound our spirit and our soul. Someone could have abused us, and that will wound our soul. Somebody not saying anything and not giving us love can wound our soul. Not showing love is just as powerful. And ignoring somebody, ignoring another human being, is more detrimental, more powerful than to actually be angry at them. Because to not say anything to someone else just collapses their spirit. So when you do the work, listen, feel the energy flow through you, embrace that energy, understand that you're part of the process, that you're part of that energy that's flowing through you. Part of that energy is you, part of it is through spirit. Okay? So anybody can do this work. Not to cheapen it, anybody can be their own personal shaman, be their own personal guide. Because you know what? When you're ready to heal the pieces and parts of yourselves, you'll go deep and down into the nitty-gritty that you need to get into and to see it. And when you're ready, it opens up a whole universe of potentialities. So remember the story and the meditation that we did earlier about the transit door, how we walked through the transit door and what you asked for. I hope that you got a message from that. I hope you were able to receive something. I hope you were able to say, okay, I got it. For those of you who weren't at the beginning of the show, we did do a meditation, how we travel through the transit door. Okay? Transit door work is very powerful, very amazing, and I've seen some cool stuff happen by just going through that transit door, that shamanic door to self. Because all healing is self-healing. You will always heal the parts that you need to heal. And you have to do the work. No one's going to do it for you. They're going to guide with you, and that's what we do. And we walk with you, share with you, and we'll be with you. It's good to be here. That's our motto. It's good to be here. And when we say it's good to be here, it's because we open up the universe, we open up the spiral, and we give thanks to the universe. We give thanks to all the things that have come before us and that will be after us, because we're going to be part of that all the time. So it's good to be here. Peace and love. Ho'oponopono. I love you guys dearly. You guys are amazing, and I really appreciate you taking time out of your beautiful schedules, okay? And it's good to be here, and I'm glad that you guys are here with me. And if you have any questions and you need to get contact with me, go to iggygarcia.com. I'll be updating my schedule, and we'll be doing some cool stuff. So with that, thanks, guys. I really appreciate you. It's awesome. It's awesome to be here with you. And send me a message if you have any questions afterwards. But yeah, I love the work I do, and I guess that's what's important. It's important. Hey, Chris, what's up? It's important to me to know that I'm able to heal pieces and part myself on the journey with somebody else. Okay. All right, guys. Be well. I'll talk to you soon. Tell me how things are. Monday, don't forget, finding your spirit animals. That's what we're going to be working on. So if you like spirit animals, you want to kind of know what's going on, we're going to talk about it. We're actually going to do some work with animal work, how we channel the animal energy and stuff. So that's at 8 o'clock on Monday. So be ready for that. Be ready to do that, because it's a lot of fun. You'll really enjoy that. There will be a class where we actually do channeling spirit animals, how we actually do it, and I can show you how to do that. We're going to just have a little brief on that on Monday. It's so much fun. So if you enjoyed what you heard today, let me know. Send me a message. Just give me a little feedback here on the page, and I will see you guys on Monday. Be well. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. Have fun. Let's stay connected. We're going to have a bonfire. For those in Columbus, we're going to have a little fire pit going. So hopefully you're able to join us with that. I'll let you know. I'll let you know what's going on with that. And be well. Namaste, ho'oponopono, irisikwi, matakuyasin, and all that good stuff that comes with it. Heart medicine. Love you guys.